Bitcoin. This time it's different. It is. I was having this discussion with another OG Bitcoiner this weekend about the differences between 2017 and this time around, this bullish run. And there is a distinct difference. Back in 2017, the bullish case was that Bitcoin was going to replace our current financial system. We were, instead of using credit cards, going to use, Trezor wallets, and all commerce was going to be done through cryptocurrency. And so if you bought some Bitcoin, you were buying a part of that new way of transacting. And so the people that were getting really rich on Bitcoin were taking their wealth and spending it lavishly on consumer goods. This is where the meme of Lambo came in, because people showed up, to a Miami conference in Lamborghinis. That's what you did with your Bitcoin. You spent it. But this time, the people that are really bullish on Bitcoin are bullish for a different reason. Their reason, not everyone, but most, is that the dollar is going to fail. And the only thing that's going to have any value going into the future is cryptocurrency, assets that cannot be infinitely inflated. And so people are not spending their money on Lamborghinis because, who wants a massively depreciating asset when our current system of wealth is going to be completely changed and everything is going to go to crypto? That is why it's different this time. There is a very different bullish case. And that is what people believe. Now here's how it's not different. We're getting to that time in the bull run where your brother-in-law, your aunt, this friend that you haven't talked to in a long time is asking you, how do I get into Bitcoin? And a lot of people think that when their grandmother is sending them a message about Bitcoin, that's bullish. Because, oh my goodness, it's so bullish that even grandma is buying it. But you gotta ask yourself, if grandma is the last person that is going to buy Bitcoin, who's left to buy Bitcoin after her? So back in 2017, one of many people that contacted me was this friend that I knew him from gaming. He didn't really have a job. He was living off of an inheritance, and he said to me at about $17,000, hey, I need to take this inheritance money and I need to make it last the rest of my life. I need to fully vest my retirement on just this roundabout $100,000. So how much do you think I should put into Bitcoin? Well, I said to him, okay. Well, I don't really recommend putting a lot in at this point as it's gone up, so much to $17,000. The high was $19,000, by the way. And I asked him, well, how much do you think you should put in? And he was like, well, all of it. I was like, whoa, well, what happens if it goes down? Why would it go down? I mean, it's going to replace our current financial system, isn't it? And I talked to him a little bit longer about it, but you got to understand the kind of people that are getting into Bitcoin now. They don't really have a concept of risk. I mean, they think they know what risk is. They're okay with taking risk, but they don't really think that they're going to lose money. That's the psychology of the people that are just now getting into it. They may or may not. They may know that it crashed in the past, but this time it's different. So the psychological profile of people getting in now is that they're not really in it to lose anything. That's not really a case they've considered. And so right now, as I'm making this video, there's been about a 25% down move, which is actually healthy. That kind of takes away some of the exponential hockey stickness of it. But what you don't want is you don't want a 40 to 50% down move. The problem you have there is that people that have gotten in at this phase of the bull cycle are going to get really nervous. Now, they're not going to sell. No, because that would mean taking a loss. They'll hodl, hold on for dear life. That's what it means, by the way. And then what you're going to see after that big 50% move down, 60%, maybe even 80%, is you're going to see a retracement. And the people that have bought and they're not really willing to take that loss, they're holding. And they're riding it up. They're getting, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. But I'll tell you what they're not doing. They're not buying more. Because they've been shown what can happen to their holdings. And so they're not going to buy that. And what's going to happen is it's not really going to get up to the top. And that's a problem. Because when it fails to make a new high, when they fail to make gains, now they're getting really nervous. And as it starts to come back and they're starting to have to face the fact that it's maybe not going to be what they thought it was going to be, that's when panic will set in. And we'll see the continuation of the cycle. Now, I don't know when that's going to happen. I just know that's what the cycle has been in the past. It happens in a lot of things. Even going back to the railroads as the new transportation medium at the turn of the century. I mean, the last century, 1900s. People have these great wild ideas about how this is the new whatever. And they're not really prepared for the volatility. So, if you're just now getting into Bitcoin, you're going to get an education. It could go all the way up to 100,000, 200,000. Who cares? What is money in an infinitely appreciating asset? I love that term that just came out over the last couple of weeks. That's a fantastic bullish thing to say, that it's just going to go on forever. Be careful. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose 80% of. That's just the reality. At this point in the cycle, not that many people get to win. Sorry. That's just the reality of things. But I hope for those that are getting in that it wildly appreciates and they're smart enough to take some profits. And remember about the cycle in which I described, that major shock movement and that retracement back up. That may be your last opportunity to salvage what you have. So be on the lookout for it. Trade well.